The moon is putting on a show you won't want to miss. Early tomorrow morning, a total lunar eclipse will be visible across most of Canada. For a short period, the moon will turn red, something that won't happen again until 2025. Joining me now is CTV Science and Technology Specialist Dan Riskin. Dan, great to see you.
Great to see you. Great to talk to you about this because you love this stuff as much as I do. It's just so fun when you get a sense of where you are in the solar system and how it all works.
Right? So let's get our nerd on. What are your tips to get the best view of the show tomorrow morning?
All you got to do for this one is go outside. You don't have to wear special goggles or anything like that. You basically just have to look at the moon early in the morning. Now, what's cool about this is that it's the same event visible across Canada. It happens at the same time. So what time you have to look at the sky depends on your time zone, but it's the same event starting at the same time. So if you're in BC, it starts at 1:09 a.m. That's when the partial eclipse starts. But if you're in Newfoundland, it starts at 5:39 a.m. So the big total eclipse will go from 5:16 to 6:41 Ontario time. And so you just have to sort of do your math on that. But basically, it's going to be 85 minutes of eclipse for you to enjoy, where it turns red, has a big shadow on it, and it's just beautiful to see.
Okay, so why does it turn red, though?
Okay, so the red is really cool because if you can imagine the sun setting at the horizon, the sky turns red, you know, when you see a sunset or a sunrise, because a lot of the blue gets bent out of the light and the red is what makes it to you. And so when there's the sun going behind the Earth, if you were standing on the moon, it would look like a sunset all the way around the Earth. It would be red around the edge. And so that red light is what falls on the moon. It's the light that's bending around the Earth and hitting the moon. The blue doesn't make it, but the red does. And so it ends up that it's in shadow, but a little bit of light trickles around the Earth and lights it up red. And so another word for full lunar eclipse is blood moon. And it sounds cool when you call it blood moon. This is a blood beaver moon because the full moon in November is called a beaver moon. And this is a blood beaver moon because it's a lunar eclipse while it's a full moon.
Blood beaver moon. I'm not going to forget that one.
Yeah, love it.
Dan, we know another total lunar eclipse. It will come around in 2025. There are two other kinds of lunar eclipses set for next year. But why are scientists saying they won't be as impressive?
Yeah, there's a couple of lunar eclipses next year, but basically these are close to lunar eclipses. So to get a full shadow, it's the umbral cover, and then there's the penumbral, which is sort of like a darker area around the main shadow. And so what's going to happen next year is the moon's going to go through that almost shadow, the edge of the shadow a couple times, but you're not going to get a full blood moon next year like you're getting this time. So this is well worth going out and seeing. It's going to be a little bit early, depending where you are. It might be quite late if you're in BC or early in the morning. But everywhere in Canada can see it for a little bit as long as there are no clouds. It's just that in a lot of places in Canada, the moon will set before the eclipse is over. And so you got to catch it while it's on.
I mean, I'm looking at the weather forecast and I know that like BC to Ontario has the best view of it, but that's also in some of those provinces where we have the most snow falling. So, if you can't see the lunar eclipse, are there other ways you can watch it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same to see it online, but it is kind of cool. You'll be able to look live through telescopes. So timeanddate.com, space.com, there are a whole bunch, any nerdy, sciencey, spacey website is going to have a link somewhere, or you can just Google for it. But there are going to be lots of ways to find telescopes that are showing live views of the moon while it happens. But cross your fingers and just hope that you've got a break in the clouds because it's worth seeing. And, you know, if this one just doesn't quite work out for your timeline, they do come around every couple of years. So this isn't a once in a lifetime, but it's definitely once in the next couple of years. So it's worth seeing this time.
Dan, and you can bet if we have a view of it here in the Toronto area, I will be showing it during weather.
I bet you will. I will definitely have a telescope pointed at it as well.
Oh, so good. Dan, great to talk to you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.